Ophthalmologist Dr. Strauss has seen firsthand how the metaverse is helping surgeons practice the procedures to treat cataracts.
Cataracts are the primary cause of avoidable blindness.
He works with a virtual reality training platform developed by Fundamental VR and Orbis International to help surgeons develop the muscle memory they need. The result? More confident, capable surgeons. And even more importantly,
Patients who can see.
explore more stories like Dr. Strauss's at meta.com/metaverseimpact.
Cybersecurity is no longer a nice-to-have. In today's environment of heightened cyber attacks, protection is critical for organizations of all sizes. CrowdStrike protects everyone from small businesses to large enterprises, including over half the Fortune 500. Our winning platform is validated, tested, and certified. When it comes to cybersecurity, why choose anyone but the leader? CrowdStrike. We stop breaches. Learn more at crowdstrike.com.
Suck.
So, yeah. Well, hopefully, I think I can pay a little more for that once I'm there. So,
and
just
now,
depends on.
Cheese Wits.
Well, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Not as weird as you, I guess.
No, you've probably not ever been as weird as me. That's kind of an evil laughter. I should be rubbing my hands together, plotting the overthrow of the earth. I know. I should be plotting the overthrow of something. Where's our friend Chris?
I don't know why you ask me that every time, like I'm going to know the answer.
I suspect that he is sleeping.
I don't know. We were texting earlier.
Well, it probably wore him out.
Probably. He sent a whole text. He sent one whole text.
He's probably exhausted.
It's a lot. It's so much.
It's a lot to do.
It's so much.
In this new millennial world, I don't even know. Millennial world, it's a lot to do.
Mm-hmm. He's not a millennial.
Come on, Chris.
Christopher.
You had time off. Come on, man. Get to it. Now, let's see. Did you like? He's not going to be here. You saw my stardom days.
I did, and there was a reason that I tagged him in it. But I need him to be here before I start saying the things I'm going to say.
On me. Before you start dumping on me.
Before I start saying the things I need to say.
So here is the issue here. You don't need to say anything.
Oh, I do,
but
though.
You sure as shit want to say something.
I need to say something.
You see how skinny I was back then?
Well,
I was quite thin back then. I was about 135 pounds back then, maybe 140. Maybe. I was just a waif. I was a waif.
Let me text him.
Yeah. You text him. See if he doesn't get tired out again.
I mean, he had that whole doctor's appointment. Oh, there he is.
Oh, no, I'm here. Sorry about that. I actually was listening to the radio and I heard dun 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 dun, CBS News. I'm like, well, shit's 4:00, and then I got into the news story and I'm like, what am I pulling in the parking lot? Fuck, I got a call.
You know what? Did you hear that? He referred to Sirius Radio as Sirius XM satellite radio as the radio.
No, I said CBS.
Oh, I thought you said Sirius.
Deaf fuck, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, hey,
which brings us back around to
here we go.
The videos that Wally posted earlier. Chris, I've been waiting for you to get here before I said the things that I want to say, because did you notice that in the video that Wally posted where he is walking out of a classroom in slow motion? Well, he wasn't walking out in slow motion, but not only did he figure out how to edit so that he only had that one piece of video, but slowed down the part where he's walking out of. This man who couldn't figure out how to get into Facebook Messenger 5 days ago.
That's right. I was about to say, man,
Okay.
the man can't done getting to Facebook, but goddamn, if he can't play with fucking
That
Avid and
took
edit
me a
shit.
couple of hours. No, I have to tell you, I could not for the fucking life of me figure out how to screen record that off of my computer. And I tried, there's something called Game Bar. I think it's called,
Yeah.
Every time I use that, I would just end up with a black screen. So that wasn't working for me. I ended up just using my phone. I used my phone and pointed it at my monitor and recorded it like that.
But then you figured out how to do the slow down part on just that where you're walking out of the room.
Yeah, that's easy. That's you just
Well,
push.
so is getting into Facebook Messenger, Wally, but still, here we are.
No, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because they changed that whole fucking code thing. And I must have put in a 6-digit code.
No, that's a brand new thing. You just had to create it.
Yeah. See, I think I might have done that, but I don't remember it. So I haven't tried again.
Well, you're on it now. So
yeah, but I didn't punch in anything.
Wally, this is Chris from the Microsoft.
Yeah. I didn't punch in anything to get into it today. Not a thing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I just opened it up and there it was.
Okay.
So what am I telling you? I'm telling you that
you still don't have any idea what's going on.
No, I have no idea what's going on with that Facebook Messenger. It rang. I did what I always do. Join. That was it.
Wow,
but
yours rings?
Time, it was all kinds of fucking.
Yours doesn't?
Mine doesn't fucking ring. No, mine just. I get into the messenger and it says, "Do you want to join?"
Yeah, sometimes mine doesn't ring either.
Mine's never
you
rang.
might check, Chris. I can tell you this because I know you can figure it out. You might check the notification settings in Messenger.
Okay, I might have calls turned off. That's possible.
Yeah.
He might not give a shit.
How was your doctor's appointment the other day?
I'm sorry, you'll have to be more specific.
The one that you had to leave the show early for.
Okay, that was the chiropractor. Actually, he was adjusting me at 4:45.
That was you said it was your leg. There was a whole thing with your leg and MRI.
Oh, hold on. No, yeah, that was the MRI. I had to go in and get the MRI read that day. Mm-hmm. And I had to get set up for x-rays and all that sort of shit. So what do I know right now? Nothing.
Oh.
I am going to an orthopedist tomorrow at 2:40. And they now have the MRIs and they have the x-rays and they have me who's going to act like a little bitch if they don't tell me what's going on.
What years were
because
you in
it
the
hurts
NFL?
like hell. I'm walking around. I'm sorry?
What years were you in the NFL? And do you do any of those NFL greatest stars games for charity? Man, you are banged
Who's calling?
Fuck up.
Who's calling? It's weird because this, and I guess it's bowling every day of the week. And our friend Ed, Jess, made it, make more sense to me because he said, look, people that play baseball, some of the fielders and stuff, they play baseball, but you got pitchers, they don't play every day. Okay, you got to rest yourself. And I'm like, well, yeah. And he's like, and he says, by the way, I'm 70, you're 48. Get in fucking tune. Okay.
Yeah.
So
too much of a good thing can be a bad thing.
Kind of where
well, what I can
actually walking around an antique store right now because I'm trying to feel better. I'm trying to walk my leg right now, just trying to, let it extend and put some movement on it.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Are you wearing the knee?
So there you go. And they still haven't. No, not yet. And by the way, still no word on my stomach yet either.
Oh, great.
They haven't. The results of the colon and endoscopy, the doctor finally got them on Friday, and she'll send you a note through the secure portal. Yeah, fucking crickets. So hopefully tomorrow.
So tomorrow you're
I'll
going to
give
find
you a
out
secure portal.
everything that's wrong with you.
Yeah,
with any luck, and I go to Las Vegas Friday,
okay.
So I'll be there Friday through Thursday, and of course you got to walk everywhere when you're in Las Vegas. So it's gonna be fun.
You might have to sit at a block.
It's gonna be a good time. So by the way, remember, I do not play the cards anymore. I just play slots, and that's where I'll be. But I'm there for work, Wally. I'm gonna have to be walking around the convention center, really hard concrete floor for 4 days for 8
Yeah,
hours a day.
Sucks.
So yeah. Well, hopefully, I think I can pay a little more for that once I'm there. So just depends on.
Man, oh man.
Oh my goodness. Hey, you guys, guess what
Who
today
I
is?
find. No, and it better not be a man, by the way. Go ahead.
I feel your pain.
Guess what today
What
is?
is today? What is today?
15 years ago today is when I started at WFRE.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
How about that?
Do you
How about
celebrate that in
life-changing
some way?
event?
I don't, but it came up in my Facebook memories. And I thought, oh, I wouldn't even know it was today if it hadn't been for my Facebook memories telling me.
Does it show you a picture
What
of
did it-
your 15-year ago self? Like, here you are.
No,
working your first
it
day.
just shows me that I put in that I had started my job at WFRE on today. And
Dag
2000.
nabbit.
So was this when you became PD, or was this when you were part-time, or what?
no, it's when I was hired for afternoons and APD.
Oh,
And
okay.
then
Who was
in-
the PD? Was it still the troll?
Yeah. And then in July,
okay.
she got fired and I took her job.
Smart.
And then she hated me because obviously that was all my doing.
Well, of course it was.
Yeah.
How long were you there before they ousted her?
3 months.
She must have sucked.
She told off a high-paying client in the production room.
Yeah, she had some anger issues. She was a decent boss.
And Jess was a
But-
trade up from that area? The anger issues?
Yeah, Jess inherited it from the building.
Yeah, it seeps into you. See, there was somebody
No
who had
way.
before I got there sued the company because there was mold in the building, but it turns out no, it wasn't mold, it was anger. It was anger
Yeah.
making us all sick.
You know, I'm actually going to call Linda and tell her to revise her lawsuit.
I've just learned from Jess, your old pal, that it was anger that was growing in that place.
The woman who was the PD when I got there, she was the one who, I know I told the story where after I puked all over myself at a showcase, she kept telling all of our shared record reps that she thought I was awesome and she wanted to talk to me about doing afternoons. And she hired me despite the fact that she saw me puke all over myself at an industry showcase. And so I thought, well, this is great because she's not going to judge me at all. But she hated everybody and everything, but she especially hated salespeople just as a species. It didn't matter who they were or what they did. If you are a salesperson, she hated you. She hated anything to do with Rascal Flatts just by default. And there was one time that the GM decided that he was going to, she just complained about everything. I really thought after a couple weeks that I had made a mistake accepting that job. But there was one day the GM decided that he was going to shut down the whole radio station for lunch. Receptionist, on air, everybody, and take us all out to lunch. And which normally he, when they do stuff like that, the person who's on the air has to stay, somebody, receptionist has to stay. But he just decided on this day that he was going to take us all out to lunch, shut down the building. She came out of her office and said, "Oh, I can't believe he chose Mexican food." Fucking stay here. Just stay in your office then. Don't go.
I have never seen her turn down a plate. So that's kind of actually odd to hear you say that.
She complained about everything. If he had done something where he just took the salespeople out to lunch, she would have been mad because it didn't include programming. If he had taken everybody except the jock on the air out to lunch, she would have been mad because it just catered to the salespeople. But then he did this thing where he took everybody and it included every single person in the office that day. Ugh, I can't believe he chose Mexican food.
Can I tell you, there is not a food you could take me to that I'd go, no, not for me. I am open to all of it. And Mexican food is
Good.
fucking fantastic.
Mhm.
I can't wait to take Wally to the cannibalism restaurant. This is going to be fun.
That's so funny. I was reading about Army Hammer today.
Oh, were you? All right.
Yeah, I was. I was wondering. I saw that he was back on the social media, trying to slowly infiltrate his old life.
Wally, this is the second show in a row.
Jesus.
The second show in a row that you've brought up Army Hammer.
Yeah, I saw a movie with him. I think it was The Untouchables. Fucking guy's pretty good actor. It's too bad that he got washed out.
Ah, that Barney Rubble. What an actor.
Oh God, I love Barney Rubble. I love the Barney Rubble. Hey, in the videos I posted, did you love that 80s hair? Did
your 80s hair? You looked like you could have been Michael Landon's sperm.
I'm pretty sure that was the same hair you had when I worked with you.
Oh no. Yeah. That was my Hollywood hair.
I'm sorry, your what?
My Hollywood hair. That was my 80s hair. That was like 1986, I think.
It was
Chris, I posted something specifically for you.
Okay, what was that? What was specifically for me?
My appearance in Jake and the Fat Man.
Ah, with William I'm out of breath Conrad.
I actually did a scene with Robert Culp.
Oh, okay.
Who is a fucking fantastic guy, and it was very, very short.
They specifically put you in a bright colored shirt to draw the eye.
Yeah. It's called the motivating motion or some bullshit. There's a word for it.
Mm-hmm.
You're motivated. Like, you're supposed to watch, and then the guy. It's kind of blocking is kind of serious shit.
Yeah.
So to do that, and that was one take. Hello.
What? Hello, you walked across that plaza in one take?
One take without blocking his camera.
Wow.
Yeah. And without bumping into him. And do you know you didn't notice this because I don't show the rest of the scene. The rest of the scene you don't see me anywhere because I'm to stop at a pillar and not continue, and he continues. And
I can't believe this is great. Jess, we know a C-list stand-in. Isn't this great?
That's right.
I mean, that's
not
so
a stand-in, my
wonderful.
friend.
An
background.
Extra.
Background. I'm looking forward to. I wish I could have found some stuff. I'm sorry, but I wish I could find some stuff from Bronx Zoo, but there's nothing because that only lasted 2 seasons. Because there's my first on-screen kissing. Ooh.
Who did you kiss?
Nobody. Well, I don't know. Maybe she turned out to be somebody. At the time, it was just another background person. It was like high school cafeteria mugging up in a corner as they did a pan shot of lunch.
Wow.
You guys, I had a blast. That shit was so much fun.
I'm sure it sounded fun. It sounded like it would have been fun. I mean, I always wanted to get into it. I never did. My ex-wife was an extra all the time when they were filming that fucking thing in Baltimore, The Wire.
Oh, that would be good.
And she was on that all the time. And well, it was after we got divorced, so I couldn't watch the fucking thing.
That's too bad because that was a great show. And I don't know what your ex-wife looks like, so I never noticed her.
God, I can't describe her except she looks like a bitch.
I did see her. Okay.
Okay, good.
She was in a couple of episodes.
That's good. When are we going to get the video? It's going to come out at some point, Jess. That Wally's going to be like, you see this? This is the first time I gave on-screen blowjobs. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this flick. This is great.
It's hard to dig up those old independent VCR.
All right there, Bob Crane. That's fine.
Oh man, not Bob Crane.
Bob Crane.
Hogan. That is, man, you know what? It's kind of sad, Chris, that you and I, especially you, because you're so much younger than I am, have those old references.
Well, you sit there and I've got the autistic brother at home. Okay. So parents are diverting every bit of attention that should have gone to me to him, and then some more too.
Right.
But you can't leave the house and you can't have any friends because God forbid we'd have to come and pick you up because we have your younger brother to deal with. So I sat at home and watched fucking reruns of goddamn Carter Country. Okay. That's what was on. Or
You-
the other day, you have just like random flashbacks to your youth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So somebody throws a ball the other day at the bowling alley and hits the 3-pin right in the face for a spare. And I went, ha, that's my mama. Like, where the fuck did that come from? But obviously I sat there and watched fucking Clifton Davis when I was a kid. It's and rewatching Three's Company now, knowing, God, my parents really should have been monitoring what I was doing as a child. It's crazy. So yeah, I've got the old references from shit because the TV was my friend. That was it.
You really are that HBO show. You really are that first HBO.
Dream On.
You are the epitome of Dream On.
I've got Dream On VHS every episode.
Of course you do.
But you are absolutely.
Wait, do you have a VHS player?
Maybe minus the crazy
absolutely.
sex.
Well, no, there's crazy sex. It just, I'd like to have some, but I don't think Jenna wants me to go anywhere else, so I won't.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. Is you have to watch an episode. Chris, I've got it for you. I've got a sex game for you. You can watch an episode of Dream On and say, okay, whatever. What was his name?
I don't remember his name.
I don't know. Whatever Biff does in this episode, we have to do. Whatever Biff does with the girl in this episode, we've got to do it.
Right, and it's going to be the one episode that he gets a fucking wine stopper put up his asshole. Okay.
Yeah, and the new wine.
The episode we record after that incident is going to be interesting.
The ribbed wine.
Goddamn right.
I've got to make another trip to get that camera up my ass.
Good Lord. Good Lord. Can you imagine walking into the ER? Foreign object in Bay 3. Okay.
Oh my God. Jess, how was your trip? Didn't you have a trip?
Yeah, we talked about it the other day.
We had a show Wednesday that we talked about that, buddy.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
awful.
When
it comes out on DVD in a few years, Wally, you'll be able to reference it and play it back on your computer real slow.
If you have forgotten, though, you can listen to the episode tomorrow.
My memory has gotten so bad. Not my long term. I'm starting to forget fucking just simple words.
Oh, me too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I will think of something and then 5 minutes later I'll say, oh yeah, what was that I wanted to look up? What the fuck was I looking up?
It's gotten even worse for me because of this situation with my hip, right? And I'm talking to Jenna. We're driving home yesterday. We went down to Harrisonburg and came back up. And I'm like, God, it really hurts to get these things for the foot that the covers, the foot covers. And she says, socks? I said, yeah, that's it. Socks.
No, I'm the same place you are.
Yeah, me too. And the fact that we're dealing with my stepfather and his recently diagnosed Alzheimer's right now. And my mother is getting a little bit of dementia with her Parkinson's, and her mother had dementia. Every time I can't remember a word, I'm like, oh, God damn it, I've got dementia now.
Well, my grandmother, all seriousness here, went through the Parkinson's dementia.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ. That was a long slide too, because she kept hanging on, and hanging on and hanging on. And my dad finally looked at me one day, and I'm sure your mother's nowhere near this far along, but my grandmother had gotten so bad, she thought that statues in her apartment were talking to her, and they had to take down all the mirrors in there because she thought there was people invading her apartment.
Yeah.
And shit like that. I mean, your mother's nowhere near there, right?
No, my she's just in the early stages. Okay. She remembers all of the things we specifically wish she wouldn't. Gotcha. But my grandmother, she had dementia. It was not Parkinson's. It was, she had vascular dementia. And the last time I saw her, she asked me where the babies were. And I was like, I think you are talking to your other granddaughter, meaning my cousin, because there were no babies here.
Right.
My stepfather, when I saw him last week, I'm like 90% sure he didn't know who I was. Wow. But on the third day, he asked me how I've been, but he still hadn't said my name. So I'm I'm still not positive he knew who I was that day. And then the next day he asked me how the house was looking. But at that point, it could be just that he recognized that I'd been there for a couple of days talking about the house. But I don't think he knew who I was.
Well, it's scary when that stuff starts happening, and I'll never know with my mother. I'll have a decent idea, but my father has taken, to calling me Sonny Boy. So I'm assuming that I'll always be Sonny Boy, and who knows what the fuck else is. Jesus Christ!
Well, Chris and I have an advantage over you, Jess, because when Chris forgets that those things you cover your feet with the thing, they're like a hole in the top, the socks. Mm-hmm. When he forgets what those are, he has somebody to tell him what they are. You have nobody to tell you. We're going, what the fuck are they? You're going to have to call somebody. Hey, what are those things called that you put your feet in? They're like white sometimes.
Well, but fortunately, if there's nobody that I'm actually talking to in the moment, it doesn't matter if I can think of the word. I just go get the socks. I know what I'm thinking about.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes,
but it's when I'm talking to you guys. There have been times that it's happened when we're recording an episode, and I'll go, "What's it called?" With the thing, and you've had to tell me the word.
Yeah, I have that all the time. I'll forget. I'll have a complete knowledge of something, and we'll start talking about it, and like all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. Yeah. It's just, where the fuck did that go? Mm-hmm. I had a whole stream of consciousness going on, and it hit a fucking wall and just stopped. Yeah. And it's hard to retrieve it. Mm-hmm. It's in there.
But do you have word salad too? You ever get that?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll be talking about something and I don't know what it'll be, but all of a sudden, instead of talking about, let's just say an Arby's roast beef sandwich. Okay. I really like that, get an Arby's roast beef sandwich and get some time with on the No. And Jenna's like, what the fuck did you just say? I just said horsey sauce. Horsey sauce is what I just fucking said.
No, I don't get that part of it. But I will get the part where I will use wrong words for shit, and I will have no thought in my head that I've used the wrong word to say something.
Oh, I don't have that.
So I might say,
as I know.
The Arby's Big Mac is so. I'm like, what? And I will.
The Arby's Big Mac. Where the fuck are you shopping?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's my thing, right? That I will sometimes say something that has. They really don't go together. They are two actual things, but they don't belong together at all.
Yeah, like me and my first wife. I get that.
It's it's a little bit scary. It's frustrating more than scary. It's absolutely frustrating. I'm frustrated because it makes me feel stupid.
Well, yeah,
it really does. It makes me just feel like it also makes me a little scared.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you see somebody in the moment who is declining in that specific way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also hard to have an intelligent conversation because now you sound like a real idiot.
Well, and my grandmother just became straight racist too when she went into the when she was in the home.
Really?
Yeah, and we put her in a place that was assisted living, but she kept escaping and wound up going to the mall or across the street and would wind up sitting behind a desk at Penny's and shit. It was the weirdest fucking thing.
I'll tell you.
So we moved her to another unit. And she was in there, and you'd walk in there, and there'd be something would happen, something would go wrong. Something would drop on the floor, and my grandmother would start going, "Oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. The aunt will clean it up." And I'm like,
"What?"
Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, one of the orderlies would come in. It's okay. We hear it all the time. It's okay. They don't know where they are.
I thought you said Leanne will pick it up.
That was her name. Her name was Leanne. That's correct. That is 100% dead to nuts. You got me. That was her name, Leanne.
I thought you said Leanne.
Thankfully, the place my parents are at, my stepfather can't open the door to get out.
Oh, that's good.
Because they have a code to open the front door. And I think she said, because obviously that would be a fire hazard if that's the only way to get out. If you hold the handle for long enough, it will automatically open, but it's probably 30 seconds and nobody's going to do that with dementia. So he can't get out, which is good because he they made, my parents took some dogs with them when they moved in that they were
said, yeah.
And they made them rehome the dogs because they weren't able to take care of them and they were stinking up the joint. And the day that they took my stepfather's favorite dog, he apparently threatened the woman. Like he pulled back like he was going to punch the woman who works for the assisted living place. And that's not who he has ever been in his, for as long as I've known him. I've known the man since I was probably 11 years old, maybe 10.
A long time.
Yeah. And so that's not who he is, but he threatened to hit her and he called her a fucking bitch, which is also not who he is. And so that was a little concerning, but by the time I got there, he told me, he said, I used to have a dog named Chico and he's lost and I don't know what happened to him. So if you see him, let me know. But I go on a walk every night trying to find him. And I was like, oh my God.
Good God.
Yeah.
That stings.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they have one of those programs where people bring in a pet, a dog to go from room to room and say hey to people.
Actually the woman who that he threatened actually took one of their other dogs home, and she brought that dog back to visit, and that made my mom happy. I'm not sure how my stepdad felt about it, but my mom told me the other day that she was going to ask that lady to ask the people who took his dog to bring him back for a visit. And I was like, oh, I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's just going to upset him all over again when the dog goes away.
Not for nothing. The name Chico is a great dog name.
Yeah.
Chico is I was going to ask, I mean, is
little
Chico
Chihuahua.
with the man?
Chihuahua.
Chico
Chico
with the man.
and the man. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
Chico and the man.
He's a little Chihuahua, little fat, little Chihuahua.
Yeah, that's a great. I like when people name their dogs in that manner. When they don't name just their dogs like Lady and Lassie and the cat. What, Jess?
I mean, I don't name them typical names, but they're not like human names. My parents named all of their dogs people names, and my brother has named his dogs people names.
What is your dog's name?
One is Toro and one is Medley.
Yeah.
And the one before was Moxie, and the one before that was Zeppelin, because he was a black dog. Get it? You get it?
I don't get it.
Led Zeppelin had a song called Black Dog.
Oh, I was thinking, what is it? Zeppelin black?
That's what I was saying. I didn't know either.
No, Led Zeppelin had a song called Black Dog.
I didn't know. No. Well, my love of album-oriented rock is so deep. I, of course, knew.
Of course, I could tell from the look on your face.
I have no fucking
the blank
clue.
stare.
Absolutely. I could not tell you beyond, and I can't even remember.
Somebody listening to this podcast knew what I meant when I said that.
Oh yeah, one of them did. My knowledge of album rock is fucking nowhere. Because it's just not in my purview at all. So there's the one thing I cannot know, and it's not because I have a failing memory. It's because I don't know. I don't like some shit. I can, some of the stuff, but none of that Zeppelin or Nugent or any of that AC/DC. I don't know a few AC/DC songs.
You have to. They play them at every bar in the world still to this day.
I know a couple, but I'm not.
You have to know. You Shook Me All Night Long, and Back in Black.
Yeah, I know Back in Black. Yeah, yes, I do. You Shook Me All Night Long. No, I do know You Shook Me All Night Long. And there's another one. I know one other one too, and I don't know what it is right now. I know a couple. If I point them out, but it's just not my thing. I told you, I lasted fucking 3 days at that Levine station, playing rock block. That was it. Couldn't fucking do it. The rock block.
I liked working in classic rock.
I fucking hated it.
I hated it.
3 days.
You hated it too?
Fuck yeah, I hated classic rock.
Oh.
And I play Madonna records. I don't play Zeppelin records.
I'm with you.
I've done both. I mean, I grew up listening to the Madonna records. That's where I obviously started working with Wally. But my dad, I used to listen to my dad's music. And so he got me into the Stones and Zeppelin and, rock from the before my time days.
Well, see, here's the problem. My dad's music was Patti Page and fucking, Jimmy Dorsey.
The Ames Brothers.
Right, exactly.
I played that shit. The Ames Brothers, Patti Page, Doris Day.
I played
all that shit. Yeah, I did that station too. And then later on I did one that did Sinatra and Sammy Davis and I do like some fucking Dean Martin though, I will say. And I like Sinatra too a lot. I like that.
So do I.
Well. Yeah, I do like I like that kind of music. Really the only kind I also don't like freeform jazz that much.
Yeah, I don't feel like I understand freeform jazz.
No, I'm
you know
not
what
sure.
I don't understand? I don't understand that growing pussy hair shit like Joan Armatrading. That's what I don't understand. Okay, or what's the other with Christ, I can't remember their name. But there's another group. But let's just take Joan Armatrading for one.
Right,
okay?
With the armpit hair.
Yes, and Christ, I can't remember the like Bella Fleck and the Flecktones, shit like that. I don't get it.
Bella Fleck have hairy armpits?
Or could be full puss. I have no idea. I have no idea. I've never been with her biblically, so I don't really. I don't have a.
Yeah, I don't. I even like that shit by like Squirrel Nut Zippers and Stray Cats and that whatever that.
Well, Stray Cats. I mean, that's just Brian Setzer. Who gives a shit? That's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I like
that's
that
easy.
that music. No, I'm Joan Armatrading. I guess. I mean, maybe Tracy Chapman. Does she fall in there? Does she have the hairy armpits?
I don't know. I've never seen her shirtless. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't. You've seen Joan Armatrading shirtless?
I have, absolutely. It was in Harry Bush Quarterly, and an issue that my dad has out in the garage. So behind some boxes.
Did he live in Kennebunk too?
Yes, he did.
He was there. He was there.
Speaking of Maine, by the way, Wally, who's this bitch that's wanting to talk about the Nazis? She's from Maine.
What?
Who's that?
Who wants to talk about the Nazis?
I saw a video. It was like Congress, and she was like, "I want to talk about the Nazis," and she was defending the Nazis.
Really?
Yeah. Who is she from?
I know not of what you speak.
Hold on. Now
I know nothing.
I see nothing.
No, nothing. Nothing.
We had another like 16, 17 inches of snow over the weekend.
Laurel Libby.
Yeah, I don't know her.
Republican state lawmaker is accusing Democrats of misrepresenting her remarks to make her sound like a Nazi sympathizer. I saw the speech. She was a Nazi sympathizer. She said, "Let's talk about the Nazis. I would like to know what they did in detail, if folks would like to share, that was wrong, that infringed on another person's right. Holding a rally, and even holding a rally with guns, is not illegal."
Wow. Yeah, she's a Nazi sympathizer.
Yeah. She wants to know what the Nazis have done wrong.
Well, I mean, I probably since 1946, probably not much.
Yeah.
But before
not
then,
for lack of trying.
From like 1937 through 1946 or so, kind of assholes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know,
Look.
Look,
Hitler had great ideas. He just carried them out entirely wrong. Okay, just carried them out entirely.
I'm sure some of them are
way.
fine people.
No,
absolutely.
He did have some ideas that were not bad ideas, but you're right. His execution, no pun intended.
No pun intended.
Wow,
fucking horrible. He was
his execution was in fact horrible. Yes.
Yeah, he was a megalomaniac.
Yeah, and you saying execution. I mean, I feel dirty. I feel like I need to take a shower now.
I don't even see. So that's part of that. At least I got that word out. I could. That's the only word I could use. That was the right word. His ability, his attempt to try to initiate his thinking was fucking horrible. He's just a fucking maniac.
Mhm.
And who
He's
would
a
actually
maniac.
make
I'm gonna
somebody
read
do
about
that? Who would do something? I mean, what mindset? You know, are him and Ava Braun frigging themselves off and then running to the corner and go, let's do it this way? You know, how?
Well,
How?
so here's the thing. A little bit of a thing about Hitler. There's always somebody who sides with these kind of fucking whack jobs. So in this country, fucking Henry Ford was a believer in Hitler.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
Oh, I'm gonna go crash my car.
And so was Charles Lindbergh, who was also a Hitler sympathizer.
But it
Well,
makes
you know what?
even less
He
sense.
deserved having the baby taken then.
Yeah, right.
It makes even less sense in 2024 for people to agree with any of that. And yet, a couple of weeks ago, there was a whole group of these motherfuckers in red shirts and masks walking downtown Nashville.
God damn.
Yes, they're fine. They're minding their own business. They're just taking a walk down the street,
My
promoting
thing is,
a great Christian country.
my
That's all
thing
they're
is,
doing.
if that's what you believe in, if that's what you're gonna do, own it. Take the fucking mask off.
Yeah, I am not opposed to go ahead, speak your piece, man.
Mm-hmm. But
Speak your piece.
but you
Show
own
your
that
face,
shit. Do
fucker.
it with your whole face.
Yeah,
You know,
don't hide behind it.
And don't you want to look at one of these people and say, listen, you can say whatever you want to. My fucking Jew grandfather fought for your right to do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's we had I think we had a march here. I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago.
Was that the last time March was? Because it's been snowing a lot.
We had March like a week and a half ago.
We had one of those Hitler marches or Nazi marches, and I don't know, it was one of those groups with a fucking wackadoodle name. You know, I think they spend more time coming up with their wackadoodle names than they do actually studying their wackadoodle thesis.
Mm-hmm.
They come up with all these fucking just insane. I saw, I never mind. I saw a post today that was the same thing. And I get involved. I want so badly to write these long diatribes when I see these fucking morons write moron stuff. And I start writing it and I write a whole thing and I've got 2 paragraphs and I go, fuck it. Because you're wasting your time on these people.
Yeah.
You're wasting your time and your effort because intelligence is not sinking in anywhere.
Well, no, they're not looking for intelligence.
No. What is that? Oh, Jess, that's what I couldn't think of the other day, and I was thinking of you, and I almost reached out to you. What is that fucking the 2 guys' names when you're the study that if you only seek out or believe stuff you already believe in?
Oh, God, we've talked about him a couple of times.
Yeah.
Oh, stupidity. Yeah.
No.
Is that it?
No, there's a great study. There's a super study by these two professors, I think they are, or psychologists.
And there was that
yeah, see, here we go. Here we
There
are.
it is.
We
Can't remember what the
fucking
fuck's
remember.
supposed to come out of your mouth.
There
Here's
was
me.
that site, the fake news site that's named after them.
Yes. And it's
What the Onion, the Babylon Bee? Where are we going here?
no, it's
But it's named after those 2 guys.
2 guys that did a study. I think they're psychologists who did a study about people who will only watch Fox News because it reinforces their own beliefs, or people who only watch CNN because it reinforces their own beliefs, or people who only hang out with people who believe as they believe because it reaffirms their fucking nuttiness, or it just illustrates many people don't have a well-rounded thesis for their thinking, because they do not look at both sides of anything. They look at the one side that reinforces and supports their fuckadoodle idea. Ooh, there's a new word, fuckadoodle.
Fuckadoodle. Wow.
Take that.
I'm gonna have to start using that like Jess is using Jesus fuck.
That, yeah.
No, I took
Fuck
Jesus
you.
fuck from you.
I know you did.
Yeah, well, you can have fuckadoodle from me. I like that fuckadoodle. Ooh, that's good. That's a tasty. You can't find it, can you?
No.
Anybody
think it was
tuning
like-
in right this second thinks you're fucking a fucking poodle. Okay? Anybody that tunes in right now.
Tisher or Tisher or Tish. I can't. It just doesn't come to mind. Somebody knows.
Wow,
Of
maybe
course somebody knows.
maybe both listeners will scream at their fucking whatever they listen to a podcast on going and yell the name, and then we'll have it.
Yeah,
Just keep your
that'll be
window
good.
open, Wally. You'll be able to hear it.
That'll be good. Yeah, I had yeah, so I said we had another fucking 17 inches of snow here. It's just enough. And then, oh, how about these fucking people? And I did write something about this post. I saw a post about somebody saying Jesus was coming tomorrow because of the eclipse. That tomorrow is the day. And so I did write a little post that the last time there was a lunar eclipse, I was in Washington D.C. I was at the National Zoo at the You got it?
Dunning-Kruger.
Dunning-Kruger?
Yeah.
Okay. Just got it. Dunning-Kruger.
And it only took half of the show. Good job. Congratulations, everybody.
I couldn't even think of the fucking word satire to look it up.
Jesus fuck.
You know how I found it? I searched for Greg Abbott shared fake story about Garth. And that's because I remembered that's where it came, where we talked about it the first time.
Right. Oh, is that why Garth is being outed or he's been kicked out of country music?
Go woke, go broke. All right. Anyway, I interrupted. Go ahead.
So I was at the zoo in Washington at the Smithsonian National Zoological, whatever it's called.
Right down the road.
Yes, from you. And so I was there with my grandson, and it was the lunar eclipse. It was the day of the lunar eclipse. One of the days we were there, and they had the sunglasses, and there was a little movement around the area, and I think probably across the country. Jesus will be coming during the eclipse, and I just sort of posted something. I got a hate post back. I said well, the last time Jesus was coming during the lunar eclipse, blah blah blah. All I saw were pandas. And then I wrote, this Jesus guy should get better. What do you call it? A better
PR publicity
time setting because he's late for everything. This fucker. I didn't say fucker.
We have to change the name of our podcast to We Can't Remember Words.
Either that or none of us believe in a higher power.com.
Yeah. Well, I don't think any of us do.
I did until I got to tell you my parents' church service a few weeks ago. It was the first time I actually sat and listened, and when the serpent started fucking talking to Adam and Eve, I'm like, well, this is it. This is it right here.
I still can't believe you never knew about the serpent.
Well, who the fuck is listening to this gibberish bullshit? That was an hour to fucking jerk off and play with my fucking Nintendo Switch or whatever when I was in church years ago. This wasn't a time to listen. And then all of a sudden you're sitting back, your parents are sitting down there, and then it's coming up on Easter. Well, and Adam and Eve, and the serpent said to Adam, don't. And I wanted to jump up and said, the fucking snake, what? He spoke.
So you were on board with the whole Earth and everybody created in 7 days and all of the other shit, but just the snake was the sticking point for you.
Well, again, I wasn't paying attention to the rest of it. Had I actually read Genesis, I probably would have gone, oh fuck. Okay, I mean, there's certain things I believe in. If a woman's on the rag, you can't touch her for 7 days. It's best for everybody. Okay, it really is.
Never stopped me.
That's if you like to earn your Red Wings, Wally, that's great. There's an airline for you.
Stop me.
But and not touching the fucking pig and sort of shit.
Not touching the pig.
You don't eat bacon?
You can't touch a pig if you touch.
You've been touching pigs. You got to get off the farm, boy.
You should see who I've dated in the past, Wally. But yeah, I never paid attention, I guess. That's all.
Yeah, I think that if you listen with a critical ear and a critical and intelligent ear, I think most people will figure out like, what? What? I think they're going to do the old Hanna-Barbera. I think they're going to do that because it's some crazy shit. There's some crazy shit going on.
Well, none of it makes sense. And we're going down to Harrisonburg yesterday. I mean, you lived close enough to there, Wally, so you know what the wackadoodles are like on the 81 corridor.
I do.
And you're looking off the side, and I see, Jenna's like, "Oh, that's a big church over there." And I look over there, and it's the Holiness Church. I'm like, "Oh, you don't fuck with these motherfuckers. They're the snake handlers." No. She's like, "So, what do you mean snake handlers?" I'm like, "Jenna, they have snakes and they handle them, and if the snake bites, well, that means you don't believe in the Lord Jesus Christo. Okay, so you got to be retrained and all that sort of bullshit."
Yeah, when I was in the times that I've driven across the country, there is a certain part of the country, like when you get out of New England, the AM radio is littered with Bible talk.
Try Memphis. Try the AM radio in Memphis.
Talk. You can't get anything. When I was driving through Memphis, when I was driving through the Smoky Mountain area, there is nothing but Bible verse.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing. That is, however, where I discovered farm talk radio.
Now, farm talk, there's nothing wrong. Farm talk radio is fun.
Farm talk radio is wicked fun.
I want you to keep in mind how many years I worked for Salem. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
And listen. So I worked at the Christian Contemporary non-com for several years. Did their sales for a while and was on the air for a bit. And when I left, I went over to Salem, and these people were like, literally, the Jesus Christ people were betting on how long I would be in the other place. Okay. They were placing bets. Nobody had 5 years and 2 months. I can guarantee you that. But the amount of shit that I had to see in that place, the people coming in and the money being taken from, the shut-ins and all that sort of shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And, they just keep, and it's just, well, now we're accepting donations of property and land deeds. And, good. Well, you're going to take all that. And, the one thing that really broke me working at Salem, I mean, it wasn't any of the really religious stuff. It was actually a combination of two things. Once on the 4th of July, when Trump was in office, and I had to host the 4th of July on all the Salem stations across the country from DC. Okay. That was number one, and listening to this blathering bullshit. And then number two was, I'm like, I'm already on edge here. This is the beginning of 05. And I'm like, in my time's not 05. I'm sorry. 2019. And I'm already on edge. I know time's running out for me here. I'm looking for other jobs. I get it from my desk. I go out front, and who's there but that fat fuck Mike Lindell?
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, you've got to be, I've got it. I just turned around, went back to my office.
Now you remember what I said to you when you first started working for them, right? I said,
yes, you said a lot to me in the last 10 years. Go ahead.
I said, do they know how often you say fuck?
They found out. They found out.
Yeah. Well, my experience with them is only as a buyer, buying advertising on their stations across the country.
Right.
And they are not, they are very loose with the fuck and the sons of bitches and the bitches and shits. They're very loose with that, at least in the sales department. They don't give a shit about that. They are fucking, they can swear with the best sailor in the country. They surely can. But they are exactly what Chris said. They are all about fucking just taking money wherever they can find it. Doesn't matter how fucking ethical it is. They
don't care.
In my opinion, or in my experience, they're one of the most unethical group of stations doing business.
That's saying a lot.
They're unbelievable.
That's saying a lot because iHeart exists.
When Chris says they want to take, land and give us property and we'll take your car, you can bequeath us whatever you want. They are fucking just tricking people who are weak, just in a bad place in life.
Yeah.
Because that's what when religion most often takes people in or takes advantage of them, and is when they are at their absolute fucking weakest, saddest, most oppressed. Suddenly, hey, we got a guy over here who a snake talked to. He can save everything.
If you just give us all of your property, God will make all of your troubles go away.
It is the way they fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
It is the way they work. I mean, some of these stations I know in New York, they have the two, the NYC is it NYC?
NYU?
Or
NYC and MCA.
Yeah, MCA. And one of them is all religion, and the other one is just religion not on Saturdays. It's all religion on Sundays. But the shit they put on the air, the people they put on the air, but the shit they put on the air about they're essentially they need a Martin Luther to say, "Hey, stop selling indulgences, you fucks." I mean, guys, they're selling, hey, $10 for a prayer, and we'll absolve you of your bad deeds. Oh, did you rape somebody? Did you murder somebody? Give us a call for $10. You're all set. You're going to heaven. Pearly gates are open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a fucking horrendous fucking racket, I think.
Well, and then you've got the secular version of that.
What's that?
So you have the secular version of that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You've got the religious people, give us money for, we'll pray for, your recent rape. For the secular version is when people, hi, I'm Rocky Moselle from the International Star Registry. For just $49, we'll name a star after you in book form at the U.S. Copyright Office. What? You're going to do what?
Yeah.
And listen, NPR, even though I listen, NPR falls into that category a little bit. Cars for kids. You can bequeath property to NPR. You can bequeath property, real estate. You can do the same thing with them. They take it too.
Yep.
So
they just do it a little bit quieter.
Yeah, they do it quieter, and they're not promising you anything in return other than more Terry Gross. Hey,
that's what I was going to say. Now, listen, if you have an estate over $300,000, we'd like to talk to you about some fresh air for your property.
Yeah, that would.
Thanks, Terry.
We'll talk to you about. They'll give you. They're only promising. We'll leave Terry Gross on the air, and wait, don't tell me, that'll stay on the air, and your morning edition, that'll stay on the air. The Kitchen Sisters. I listen to it all on NPR, you guys.
Listen,
good.
Cheesewits listeners,
jerk off to click and clack.
Cheesewits listeners, if you turn over your bank accounts to us, we will stay on the air.
Yeah,
that is absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we'd like to talk to you about the Wally Foundation for the Young Masturbators right now. And he will be happy to take your money and share it with other young masturbators named Wally, living within his zip code in Maine.
I have not been a young masturbator in quite some time, though still a masturbator, but certainly not young. My thoughts are young, but no.
Well, that should be. That's good. Nobody jerks off to old ladies, Wally. Nobody.
Except old men eventually.
You go back to the religious stations. We're cleaning out this AM religious station right outside of DC in Potomac. And I'm going through the engineer's desk, and there is, here we go, elderly burlesque magazines.
Wow.
Okay. Like women.
Good for them.
Oh, I don't know. Let's just say they're in the plus 300 pound area. Rubenesque. I believe. But you know what? I don't remember, but I do remember seeing them all wearing like chiffons and shit. Okay. And it's like, what am I looking at here? And why are there certain pictures cut out? I don't understand what I'm seeing here. Oh, yeah.
Pictures cut out.
There were some pictures that were cut out. Yeah.
Did the engineer have a locker? You open up the big Gates transmitter, and on the inside of it, it's some.
And you know, and that's an absolute possibility. That is an absolute possibility. So he had something somewhere else, probably at the transmitter site, because we were cleaning out the studio and just like, holy shit.
Yeah, because he's probably down at the transmitter site all by himself, a little bit lonely. He's already done
religion stations
transmitter.
It's where you see all the people that are, you know, stealing money. Remember that fucking Sonny Block asshole?
No.
What was that one?
Google Sonny Block, Bloch. He was getting on these religious stations and giving people financial advice and just running the fuck away with their money.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that guy.
Yeah, Google is Sonny Block, Bloch.
Financial radio host from 1980 to 1995 who defrauded investors of more than $24 million.
There you have it.
Oh, what a cock.
Mm-hmm.
Died in 1998.
He didn't die a poor man though, did he?
No, well, I think he died in jail.
Did he? Well, hopefully he got raped up the ass.
In his later radio career, allegedly illegitimate wireless cable investment schemes were heavily promoted on his radio show. He was also indicted for tax evasion. Shortly after the indictments, he fled to the Dominican Republic in 1995, where his wife owned property. He was captured and deported back to the United States in 1995. Pleaded guilty to 7 counts of tax evasion and perjury. After serving 2 years in federal custody, Bloch was found to be in the advanced stages of cancer. He was allowed to return home and died in 1998.
Yeah,
I miss my Uncle Sonny.
But how does that fucking happen? So if you fucking defraud people of $24 million, they've got 100 counts against you. Here's 7 counts. We'll take those. But if you fucking run a stoplight, they'll chase you for 3 fucking hours.
Only if you're black.
You. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm going to leave it alone.
Okay.
I know a guy who was chased.
I know a guy that was chased. He's on this phone call, sitting in my room.
In my chair.
No, it wasn't me. I don't run from the police. I have a respect for them. I'm also fucking afraid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? I'm as afraid. I can't say I'm afraid they're going to shoot me too. I'm not afraid of them. I'm fucking afraid of them because I know that these fucking guys work 15 hours at a time. I don't want to be the guy who gets, a cop behind him who I don't see right away, who's all fucking amped up on 5-hour energy and pulls me over after 14 and a half hours on the job and is, fucking ready to go, gung ho. No, I don't want to be that guy. And I have had a weapon pulled on me. I think I told you we one time had a SWAT call here at our house, and I was put on the deck, and my wife was put on the deck and guns drawn.
Yeah.
And it's fucking scary.
It doesn't seem like it would feel good.
Yeah, no. So I don't, I also had guns drawn one time when I was working in upstate New York. I was driving very fast and got pulled over, heading to a transmitter, and 2 New York State police came up, and I saw the one on my driver's side come up, and I was just going fast to get to the transmitter because it was down, and I saw her, and out of the corner of my eye, all of a sudden I see on the other side, gun drawn, female officer.
Wow!
Oh fuck! And it scared the shit out of me. And it was resolved, and they actually let me go.
They didn't shoot you?
No, they did not shoot me. But also, I didn't do this routine. I said, "Yes, officer. Here's my license, officer." I didn't do like, "No, I won't give you my name. No, I won't give you this. Oh, I don't have to say anything." I didn't do that fucking routine either. Like, here you go. I know I was going fast. Here's my shit. Don't shoot me. You got to expect if you're going to be a dick to them, they're going to be a dick back. I realize sometimes police are a dick to people first, but sometimes people are a dick to the cops first.
No, I don't think that ever happens.
You don't? No,
no, I don't think that ever happens.
Yeah, and I don't want to be.
Because
I don't want to
all people are kind.
And I think next time I'm going to pull the sovereign citizen card.
Yeah.
Nice.
The
I don't follow your rules, and therefore I don't require a driver's license.
I don't need a driver's license. I'm not driving. I am traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm a sovereign citizen.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't subscribe to your little rules.
It's not a privilege. It's a right. Yeah. No. That's a hard one to be. I think. I don't know. It's a hard one to argue. I think. I think sometimes people are just people. And tempers flare.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that happens.
Yeah, I think it does. But the sovereign citizen thing, it's kind of a stupid tact. Because 9 times out of 10, you're driving away without a ticket.
Usually,
you're driving away with a little warning and a finger wag. Like, don't do that again.
No.
Until you start running your fucking mouth.
I've been pulled over twice in the 10 plus years I've lived in Nashville. They were both in the first couple of years. The first time, I think, was because my taillight was broken. And I knew it was broken. It had been broken for a long time. But the red tape that I had put on it had kind of disintegrated. And the cop told me basically either get it fixed or just replace that tape because it has to fully cover. And did not give me a ticket. The other time I was doing 60 or 65 in a 45. And I didn't even see him. And when he pulled me over, he said, "You know, it's 45, right?" And I said, I'm so sorry. I have to pee so bad. And it was true. But and I could see him kind of trying to keep a straight face. And he said, "If I run your license, how many speeding tickets am I going to find?" And I said, 0. He said, "I'm not going to find any." I said, "No, sir. No speeding tickets." And he took my license and he went back and he ran it and he came back and he said, "Go slower, get home safe." That was it.
Yeah. And that's what I think. I think the majority of interactions people have with the police are very much like that. In roadside pullovers. And so I think they're very much like that. Mm-hmm. Chris, pullovers, any?
It's been a long time. I haven't been pulled over. Let me think. Once at a stop sign because I didn't make a 100% stop. It was like 97%. And this cop was
California roll.
And this guy, we started talking. He's like, "Where are you coming from?" I told him when. He says, "Yeah, I used to bowl in a league at that bowling alley." I said, "Yeah, who'd you bowl with?" And told me who he bowled with. I said, "I saw him 20 minutes ago." He's like, "Oh God, just come to a stop next time."
Now, You know what? I got pulled over in Frederick. I know that what he was really pulling me over for was driving after 2 a.m. because he was assuming that I had been imbibing.
Drinking.
But I was coming back from a funeral up in Ithaca. So I had driven 5 hours up, gone to the funeral, and driven 5 hours back. And so it was like 2:15 in the morning. I was half a mile from my house. I had come to a full stop at a red light. When the light changed to green, I proceeded through and turned left, and he pulled me over. So I had done nothing wrong. I had signaled. I had stopped at the light. I waited until it turned green. He pulled me over and informed me that he asked me all the questions. Where are you coming from? Have you been drinking? Blah, blah, blah. Where are you coming from? Ithaca. Oh, what were you doing up there? I was at a funeral. Whose funeral? Really trying to catch me in some kind of lie. And then says, the reason I pulled you over is because in the state of Maryland, you are required to stop on or before the white line. I said, I didn't do that. He said, no, your tires were a little over.
He's an asshole.
Oh my fucking God. It is a miracle that I did not say, are you fucking kidding me right now? Go fuck yourself.
That's a close chance of getting pistol whipped.
Oh my God. And I know he really pulled me over because it was after 2 a.m. and he was looking for a drunk driver.
He pulled you over.
But don't fucking lie to me. Don't tell me I pulled you over because your tire was a fucking inch over the white line. Fuck you. There's nobody on the road.
Back in the 80s, I used to do a club night while I was in college, and I was working at in Gardner, Mass. Used to do a club night, and it was on Wednesday nights at a Chinese restaurant in Leominster, Massachusetts, up Route 2. And the police,
club night
the
at a Chinese
police,
restaurant. That's great.
Yeah, the local police used to paint or draw a stripe or a ultraviolet stripe on your tire. And because we would play till closing time, which was 1 o'clock, and people would fucking drinking. They're drinking like shit, but we didn't drink. I didn't drink. I did get pulled over because it was a thing on my tire, and they ended up. There was a lawsuit, or there was something. They had to stop doing it because it obviously violated the rights of people.
Mm-hmm.
You're making a predisposition that they are going to be breaking the law.
Yeah.
So you're looking for them. You're trying to make your life a little easier by saying, "Oh, they were at the drinking place.
Mm-hmm.
Pull them over and let's check." And there was trouble, but I got pulled over for that. And they said, "You sure you haven't been drinking?" I said, "No, I was playing the fucking music." I didn't say fucking. No, I was playing. I was also like 19 or 20. I was scared out of my fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
I just was. And sometimes the police are fucking nasty, of course.
Yeah.
And thank goodness for my white privilege, though. I was able to drive away. White privilege saved me again.
Oh my God.
Oh, I've been living on the white privilege. You know that.
So I met another one of my neighbors yesterday.
Oh, which one?
Directly across the street. Here's what happened. I was actually out to dinner with a friend, and my doorbell notification went off. And I was like, that's weird. I'm not expecting any packages. So I pulled it up to see who was at my door. And I didn't actually realize it was my neighbor. It was just some dude standing on my porch. But he was being weird. Like, he was standing there. He didn't ring the doorbell. He was just standing there, and he kept kind of like looking back across the street, and then sort of looking around and looking at my door and looking around. And then after a couple of minutes, he walked off the porch, and I watched him walk back across the street and walk into the house across the street. And I was like, that was really weird. So when I got home, I went over there, and he was like, there was a package, and it said it was delivered, and my stuff gets left all over all of the houses around here. So I was just checking to see. He's like, but I saw your signs and I didn't want to ring your doorbell.
That's great.
He
You scared another neighbor.
He was afraid to ring my doorbell because of my no soliciting sign.
Fantastic. Well, they're working.
They are.
Well, you've learned a couple of things. One, he can read.
Uh-huh.
And two, he's respectful.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a couple of nice things. So, you know what? So with those Ring cameras, or just in general, do you think it makes you more afraid than if you didn't have one? Does it make you more suspicious of people than if you didn't have one?
No.
Like, if you didn't know he ever walked on your porch, you would have had no reason to wonder, what the fuck is this guy doing? What's happening here? This is kind of weird.
When I first got it, I paid a lot more attention. I looked at it a whole lot more than I do now. Now I actually have it set. It will record any motion within its,
parameter,
that's within its sight. But it only notifies me if somebody is actually in front of my house on my property coming up on the door, which lets me know a lot of times more just that somebody, that a package was delivered or something, like, so I know to go out there and look for it. But it doesn't notify me if somebody drives by. But if something happens, like when the neighbor across and over came and said, do you have any footage? I think somebody might have broken into my house. I had video of a cop car going by, and it turned out that somebody had called because his door didn't get closed all the way and he was out of town, and it had been standing open for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And a cop had gone over and walked through the house to make sure everybody was okay, and then closed the door behind him and left. I had that footage to show him it was just a cop, and then he called the police station, and they were like, oh yeah, this is what happened. So I don't think it makes me more paranoid. I like having the information if it's necessary.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you in particular. I'm just wondering if people in general.
Yeah, probably in general. Like I had to turn off there's a neighbors feature in the Ring app where other people who have, it's basically like that, the neighborhood Facebook groups, except it's only people who have Ring doorbells. And I had to turn that off because there would be people posting a video like, there's this black man standing on my porch and it's very suspicious. The man literally had a company logo and his name on his shirt.
Doesn't matter. Could have bought that somewhere.
There's nothing. He's not doing anything suspicious other than ringing your doorbell.
Suspicious Carl is.
And you don't even have to, if you have the Ring, you don't even have to open the door. You can talk to them through the app and find out what they want. So it's not like you're in any danger.
So, a couple weeks ago,
I'm here to assault you.
Like the criminals are ringing the doorbell before killing you.
Right.
I'm sitting at bingo. Okay. Playing bingo 2 weeks ago. And one of my friends, it's a 911 dispatcher, says, hey, you still have that house on Summer? I said, yeah, why? He says, got a breaking and entering call. I said, from 5? I mean, I'm not there. I'm up in Frederick. And he says, yeah, neighbor across the street saw somebody digging around at the front door and then entered the house in the carport. I said, yeah, that's the man that's painting the house because the key is in the flower bed up front. And then he goes in through the garage door.
So I'm going to go ahead and edit out some pieces of information before this
they can
goes
all come
live.
over to the house. I don't care.
Oh, did you edit out my faux pas from last week?
Yes, Wally. I am
Thank
a
you.
professional broadcaster.
I know you. Hey, wait a second.
I also edited out.
What are you insinuating?
I also edited out the 97 times Chris said the last name of his friend who sent me that message.
Oh, Scott.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, was that his name?
Yeah.
Boy, very nice.
Well, I hate to wrap this up, folks, but I have to.
You don't hate to wrap it up.
No,
I'm
actually,
glad you're wrapping it up. I'm fucking hungry.
See you
hey,
later.
guys.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Don't look at the sun tomorrow, please.
No. Maybe I'll get the president too, but that's about it. Oh wait, he's not the wrong, different president. The other president. Remember when he was looking right at the sun?
Yeah.
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 Maybe
Jesus
do
Christ.
it again.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
See y'all later.
More isn't necessarily better. At CrowdStrike, we understand that a holistic cybersecurity approach is the only way to protect your business from active, real-time threats. Which is why we created our data-centric platform to have one agent, one console, and one integrated workflow to focus on our one mission: stop breaches. When a cyber attack hits, who do you want powering your defense? CrowdStrike. We stop breaches.